This is a web-based call, so we are operating under the following procedures. The session is being audio and video recorded. Please be advised that today we are also recording the video of these proceedings. We will not use the chat feature in this meeting. To ensure sound quality, the default rule for this meeting is that everyone will remain on mute. Commissioners and staff will generally remain on mute except when speaking or voting. This meeting is open to the public, but is not a public hearing. Therefore, no members of the public may speak unless specifically invited to do so. If a member of the public creates an audio or video disruption, they may be manually ejected from the meeting upon recommendation of staff or the chair. We appreciate your attendance at this meeting. Should you have any questions about this process, you may call our staff at 860-444-5813 after the meeting has ended. Good.
Okay. All right. Number one, appoint Bert for Vic in his absence. Welcome, Tim. Tim Condorino. Welcome, Tim Bleasdale too, but welcome, Tim, for his first meeting. You see Karen on here. Oh, you don't see Karen, but Karen's on here. Tim Bleasdale, myself, Victor Ebersole is a member. Bert Chenard is a alternate, and Joe DeBono is an alternate as well. So, welcome. How about item number 2, approval of the November 15th, 2022 meeting minutes? Anyone?
Greg, this is Karen. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thanks, Karen. A second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
I will abstain since I wasn't at the last meeting.
Okay. Item number 3, application receipt. What do we have, Mark?
We don't have any for receipt.
We don't have any for receipt. Okay.
No.
Okay, item number 4, plan of conservation and preservation, conservation and development. Are we waiting for the consultant?
No, she couldn't attend, but she did forward me her presentation, so I can give you all an update on the status of everything.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Let's bring it up. Share screen.
Oh, share screen.
Before, Mark, before you do that.
Yeah.
I see Skip on here. Is he here for a reason?
I don't know. I don't know. I hadn't talked to Skip about.
Okay. Didn't know if we could do something for him if he was waiting on something before we do this.
Okay, well, we can ask him. Let me see.
Ask him to unmute.
I just want to see where he is. Hey, Skip, you're on mute. Do you have anything that you need to discuss with the commission tonight?
Okay, that's
No.
fine. Okay, let's go to the plan.
Very good. Okay. Are we set?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Let me bring this up here a little better. There you go. Okay. This is the update that that I received from the consultant last week to present to you. She couldn't make it here tonight, so she wanted me to let everybody kind of give you a status as to where we are. In terms of our public outreach, it's continuing, and she attended the pop-up craft fair in the farmers market in the community center. That was held on November 12th. As part of that, though, she also brought up and set up a couple of boards. Board at the community center and also one at the library. These boards were used to solicit comments from the people attending. They place stickies on the board with their comments. I've been going around myself and taking these suggestions that are on the boards and entering them into the interactive map that's on the website. So this information, public comment that's going up on the boards is making its way into our interactive map as well. So we have all that information. I'm doing that on a periodic basis just to keep up to date with everything. So that was what that was her last attendance was there. As I mentioned earlier, the boards are set up at the library and also the senior center. And again, I'm incorporating those comments that appear on the boards back into our interactive map on our website. So far for the survey update, we have 175 responses. We're not seeing a spike in responses, but we are seeing an increase. And it usually occurs every time we open up some sort of public outreach. And what my suggestion is to leave the survey open beyond the end of the year and into the beginning of next year. And reason being is that I want to be able to incorporate or at least drum up some interest at these stakeholder meetings that we're going to set up. And I'll be discussing the stakeholder meetings later on tonight on this as well. So my suggestion is to keep that survey open at least until the stakeholder meetings have occurred, and maybe a couple of weeks afterwards. Flyers were sent home in backpacks. We got a hold of the Board of Education. We put out additional flyers. That happened on November 3rd. These flyers are posted in the schools, and they were also sent home with the students as well. Let's see. So getting into the survey itself and some of the highlights that she's come up with. Vast majority, like almost 65% of the respondents see themselves staying in Waterford, at least for the next 10 years, staying here. More is that the majority find Waterford as a safe community, and most people own their own homes as far as the respondents go. And focus of the respondents has been from the Great Neck area. For some reason, we're not getting a more town-wide response here. Not quite sure why, but there seems to be more activity, more interest in people living in the southern end of town. What people value most is obviously it's our coastal community and the amenities, recreational amenities that we have, beaches, coastal areas, things like that, and also our cultural facilities we have, right? The O'Neill Center, library, places like that seems to be a high value in town, which kind of lends itself as well to more of a community character in Waterford. This, I think, is a representative really of our population is aging here. More than 20 years, a vast majority, 55% have lived in Waterford for more than 20 years. So people are, living here. They're kind of aging in place, I believe, in Waterford. Kind of, lends to the fact that we have the services here. People don't necessarily have to move to get the services that they need as they age in place. Okay, some of these, the next one had to people were asked to select a statement which best represents what they think about Waterford, and responses varied, but pretty much most of the respondents, majority of the respondents, they want to continue to see growth and they want to continue to see change in town, but want it to be done responsibly, right? And incrementally as well, not too fast, but being able to be smart about it, establish smart growth. Okay, thank you. So what should the town focus on? What we're finding here, which I think is really important, is that there are specific site-specific issues and topics that people are more, at least that the respondents seem to be more focused on than some sort of, you know, generalized issues. So Crystal Mall, Civic Triangle, Mago Point, Seaside, the entire Route 85 corridor. 66% of the respondents are looking for improvements in those areas. So I think, you know, that's, you know, it seems to be the people that are responding are more issue oriented, topic oriented, specific items within town that they would like to see improved, worked on. Focusing less on in town, looking at affordable housing, although it's not necessarily, you know, there's nothing that really stands out as being the topic to focus less on, because as you can see, it's the top 3 topics are very close to each other in terms of percent respondents and number of responses. So improving municipal buildings and affordable housing. None of the above, obviously at 22% here, but you know, municipal building improvement, affordable housing seem to be pretty much balanced out in terms of respondents here, in terms of focusing, looking at the town to focus less on these items. Okay, well, the stakeholder meetings, that's really our next steps for the plan, is to hold and conduct these stakeholder meetings. What the stakeholder meetings are going to encompass are, as you can see down on the right-hand side of the screen, we have 6 topical issues, and within each of those issues, we had come up with a list of stakeholders, interested parties that would be involved in each one of these issues, you know, such as Recreation and Parks Commission, the Utility Commission, fire departments, planning, obviously, Town of Waterford, the Board of Education facilities would be associated with our Public Facilities and Infrastructure meeting, Open Space Conservation Commission, and on down. The stakeholder meetings are not going to be just open to those agencies and commissions in town. What we also looked at was being able to expand the participation. So sending out and reaching out to other community organizations and community groups, such as Waterford Land Trust, looking at Eugene O'Neill Theater, looking at say, for example, the Niantic River Watershed Committee, sector, Chamber of Commerce, things like that, to also incorporate their ideas and invite them into this. I mean, it's really, you know, it's more than just the departments and agencies in town, in government agencies, but it's also being able to include those other outside organizations, not part of the government, but still have obviously an impact and certainly an interest in the plan of development. So what we're doing now is staff right now is reaching out to all the various boards and agencies and these outside organizations, and introducing them right now to let them know that that we'll be calling upon them to attend these meetings once they get set up. What these meetings are going to be is, well, what we're asking for is one representative from each of those organizations to attend these meetings. It makes it more more manageable when we. So what we're thinking of is having probably about 10 participants at these meetings. Once we establish who will be able to be there, then we'll set up the dates. And it's going to be a focus group meetings on each one of these topics, depending on which one we set up and who can attend. So along with those, we had a series of questions that will be presented at each of these meetings. And, you know, the questions are general enough to at least start a discussion amongst the stakeholders at each one of these meetings, so that we can solicit discussion and you know, we're going to be able to get, I believe we're going to be able to get more rounded topics, more rounded ideas from a discussion setting rather than just a pointed question, where people would just, you know, we throw out a question and we get an answer. We'd rather see this more as a discussion amongst the stakeholders. And what I'd like to do too is be able to set up these meetings so that if we can have at least one member of the commission attend each one of these meetings, that'll be great too. So we can have some planning and zoning representation here to go along with that. So that's our next step. I'd like to see these meetings start up probably the beginning of next year, and then which is why I want to keep the online survey open at least until those meetings are over. So if anybody's got any questions on this at this point, ready to take.
Anybody have any questions for Mark? No? Okay. That's it. Move to number 5, correspondence.
No correspondence.
Number 6, commission business, review of the budget.
Right.
Anybody?
Mhm.
And everybody looked at it. We don't need you to go through it, Mark, unless you want to. You have any
Well, unless
comments you want to talk about?
no, I'll just throw out there if anybody has any questions on it.
Anybody have any questions on the budget? No, Tim?
Nope.
Mark, can you pull down the screen? All right, all right. Any questions, Tim, Bert, Karen?
Not for me.
No?
None here.
No? Okay, so that's it.
Well, yeah, we're gonna need a motion. We're actually gonna have to approve it so I can send it up to finance. So a motion and a vote.
Okay,
I'll move that we approve the draft budget that was presented to us.
I'll second it, Karen.
motion made by Tim, seconded by Karen to approve the budget to send to finance. Any discussion on it? No? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
I,
Aye.
Any opposed? That's it. Okay. Item number 7, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second,
Second, motion made by Tim, seconded by Karen, all in favor?
I.
Aye.
Tim, they're not always all this short, just so you know. We're taking baby steps with you. All right, that's it. So I think the December 13th meeting I just went over with Mark, we're gonna keep that as Zoom too, because it really is pretty light. There's be a presentation, right, of an application review, but
Right, right. As a matter of fact, Skip's application that's the one that we'll be reviewing.
right, well, that's why I wanted to know if he had anything to talk to us about tonight, but he didn't say anything, so.
Nope.
Okay. So if that's Skip Adams, that's on the
Yeah.
meeting, we'll be doing that on December 13th.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Great.
So we had adjourned, so we did that, motion, vote,
Yeah.
done?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll see each other soon.
okay.
Hi,
Have a good night.
everybody.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.